They'll say, well, how were people forgiven? How were their sins, punished under the old covenant, under the law and stuff like that? How were people forgiven? Well, they were forgiven the same way you're forgiven. They're forgiven by faith. But were their sins punished? No, they weren't. None of them. The sins of the world were not punished before Christ. He was saving it all up. Well, you say, well, wait a minute, weren't they forgiven? Yeah, they were forgiven by faith. But you see, somebody still had to die. Why? Because the wages of sin is death. Somebody's got to die. Not my rule. Somebody had to die. But they didn't die. Under the old covenant, they didn't die. And did you think those goats and lambs, you think that their death was enough? You think that's what the sacrificial system was all about? It's like, well, sure, he punished all these animals. No, he didn't. An animal can't die for a man. Those sacrificial offerings were meant to point the worshiper to the idea that a sacrifice must take place, and it must be a blood sacrifice, but there's one that's going to come and is going to be a true sacrifice. These are just images. These are just reminders. All these animals that died under the old covenant were just reminders. That's all.